It's late November. We're in the middle of a drought, one of the oddest times of year to have a drought. Technically, you shouldn't grill during a drought, but the trade-off is this. Normally, Novembers are a bit wet and rather chilly. It's been a fairly mild-ish November, so even though it's the worst time to grill, I want to grill, because how often do you get to grill in November like this? Usually it'd be bitter cold or chilly or the winds would be blowing. I want to do some autistic grilling, some more autistic grilling. And I don't know how this became a grill channel. That wasn't the whole point. It's just we've been able to take advantage of this, And when I grill, I get to share my thoughts. So maybe we'll talk some more and we'll go from there. We'll see. We'll see. But here, my brother here is. What do we got? We got some steaks. We got some. Hold on. He's adding some seasonings to. We got 2 pork chops and what are these? What are the steaks called? What type of steak?
New York strip.
New York strip. And what are the special type of pork chop?
Yeah, what's it called? Kansas City or something?
So you're adding salt. What do you got? Pepper.
Garlic powder,
garlic,
onion powder,
garlic,
oregano.
and garlic and onion powder, oregano. Are you going to add this with paprika?
I'll add that to the pork chops only.
Okay. You also cut slits, right? You did something with slits because to help it, breathe better when it goes on the flame. But
Exactly.
so that's when I found, the trick, of course, not just the briquettes. I've learned the more and more kindling, in this case, this old newspaper and old paper plates, the more of an underbelly you have, the better the flame. So those will not cook, but those will heat up, and then we can do some cooking. All right. And let's see, my brother is going to season both sides. Yeah, this pan here, whatever this is, came in handy. It's temporary, disposable, but it comes in handy. Yeah, we'll season this up. He's going to add paprika only to the pork chops. And salt, pepper. Let's see what we got. Pepper, oregano, garlic, and onion, and the salt. Yeah, well, we'll see where this goes. And we'll talk some thoughts. We'll share some ideas. Or not. I might just delete this video, depending on where it goes and how I feel. We'll find out. All right, buddy, how long's it been since we first lit this?
12 minutes.
12 minutes? Yeah, a lot of kindling underneath and plenty of briquettes. Look how gray they are pretty quickly. So now I guess we can cover this on up.
Yeah, what about that?
Oh, the grate. Well, grate's not essential yet. We're not putting any food on. I can't do... Stop. This whole... All right, now we have the grate on and the lid on. I just couldn't do, I don't have 3 hands. So, okay, we'll let that smoke a bit, and then we'll take this off, and this should be good to throw some meat on. All right. Okay, so let's take a look here. I went to this dollar store because I really like the calendars they sell. I bought some 2025 calendars. And an impulse buy, I remember, like when I was in my 20s, Stacker 2 was like an energy drink. It might still exist, but some product that was in it, was it ginseng? It was something, some weird, not ginseng, there was something in it that the FDA banned. It used to, I used to try them. I would drink them every now and then, and you get like all kind of hyper and whacked. So I remember Stacker 2 used to be an energy drink years ago that the FDA banned something that was in it. Same thing was with the Four Locos. They also had something that was. Anyway, the point is, so maybe we'll try some of this. What else? We have a whole chemistry lab here of things to play with, of Jew pills to experiment with. So popping pills and grilling and talking about life. Okay, from the apothecary unit here. I'm going to take one of those Stacker 2 B12 pills. I hear people going on about B12 all the time. It said you should take it after a meal, but I decided, screw it, I'll take it before a meal. I think these are supposed to be like erectile dysfunction pills. I'm not sure. They both said Stacker, so I bought both. There's some kind of increase energy, boost metabolism. Maybe not, I don't know. Whatever, so I'll try one of these red ones. And what else am I going to try? Okay. The red one is this B12. That pinkish one is gabapentin, 400 milligrams. That orange and green one is Prozac at 40 milligrams. And then that little white one, that's just Lipitor or torvastatin for high cholesterol or whatever the fuck it is. So here, let's take a look here. And we have, let's mosey on over here, right here at this table. We've got IS, our beverage. So I'm going to consume this. All right, so I'm going to take it here. And, I have a hard time. I've always had a hard time swallowing. Like, I can't do, 4 pills in one sitting. And some of these are like horse pills. In fact, the gabapentin and that, whatever that B12, Stacker 2 B12 are like the same size. They're jumbo capsules. But I don't even can see any of that. 400, this is 400 milligrams. You got to click on it to focus, see? 400 milligrams, and this red one tells me Stacker 2, I don't know if you can see it, B12, whatever. Just, this is Prozac. So sorry, which one should I start with? You pick.
Start with the Prozac.
Some right here. And some beer, of course.
Of course, yes.
Okay, that went down. Now I'll do this. What is this? Watching me grill, watching me take pills. Who watches this crap? This is a Lipitor for just a middle-aged man pill. It's a little hard going down. Yeah, hard going down. Now that's just an old age. Don't want to have a stroke like my old man did. So I take that. And these we're going to try to see what they do. Well, this. God, I always gag a bit. All right, so 2 of these are true, proper Jew pills, diagnosed by a doctor, prescribed by a doctor for your mental problems. One was a legitimate medical pill, which is just for cholesterol, and this, I don't know what this is, or it's probably not FDA approved. I don't know. We'll find out. This is just something out of a dollar store. Okay, got it. Yeah. Bad aftertaste of that one. So let's see what happens the next 20 minutes to half an hour. Now let's take a look at your meats here, buddy. When do you think we're ready to put them on?
I would say right now.
Right now. Do you want to put them on while I film, or do you want me to put them on?
I guess you put them on.
Well, you prepared them. I think you should do the honors. So I can hold something for you. But remember, you can't do 3 things with 2 hands. So let's take that off. Briquettes, by the way. Briquettes look great. They're... And what are you going to do? Just the steak, or?
Yeah, we'll just start with the steaks.
Okay, so you've seasoned them. Here, I can hold one. Here. I'll take this. Good. You've seasoned them, and you cut slits so it cooks better on the inside, and we have them on the hot side of the briquettes. Later on, you want to flip them, or you're going to move them over here, or what's the plan?
I guess we'll do 3 minutes, flip them, 3 minutes, and then we'll move.
All right, now, let's take a look here. You want to leave it exposed, or you want to cover it?
Let's cover it.
You sure?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see if that helps. All right. Not all the way coverage, but... All right, we have things to talk about. I want to talk about... Well, first here. All right, so we had them covered for about, 4 minutes or so. Now we're flipping... Okay, all right, not too bad. We'll flip them once, and we'll move them to the cooler side, but we might have actually left them on a little too long on that side. They look a little too... Well, they should be right. Yeah. And would you say same thing, or should we cut down the time? Maybe just do 3 minutes? Or what do you think?
Yeah, let's just do 3 minutes this time.
Cover or don't cover? It's your
Cover,
call.
yeah.
Cover. All right, so we're going to cover it again. This time we'll do it a little shorter, and then we'll move it to the cooler side for another few minutes because we don't have to get too burned. I mean, some parts are raw, some parts are cooked, but you said these were strip steaks?
New York strip steak. Yeah.
Okay. All right, what else was I going to say? All right. All right, before we discuss any thoughts, I covered it. Some look better than others. These I went over to the cooler side. They're looking a little too grilled. This one still looks kind of pale. So we'll move it around. This time we'll keep the lid off. But I want to test. Let's see. Which one do you want to test, buddy?
That one, yeah.
This one here?
That one,
all right.
yeah.
So we're gonna do. Let's go over here to the silver platter, which is filthy. And let's get an idea. And what is the magic number for steak?
155.
155 seems to be the magic number for most meats. And we're only in the 120s. What's that say?
120. Yeah.
So that's not done. I didn't think it was. We'll just keep it. Okay, so what we're going to do now, because I like the outside texture, I'm not going to put it back over the briquettes. Instead, it still needs to cook some, but we're going to keep it on the cooler side. Now the question becomes, not just how long. Okay. Do I cover this again, or do I keep an eye on it? I'm tempted to cover. I think it cooks a little faster
I think we gotta cover
when covered.
Keep the heat in there.
And these, see, this is starting to, okay, that's starting to get its char. I don't want it to be too burned. Go like that. Okay, keep these on the cooler side. That's why you do this. One side with briquettes, one side not, so it doesn't get, the outside doesn't get you charred up. Now, let's do that. Let's see what happens. We'll leave it like that. We can always move them around in a bit. But, all right, I want to talk about, I don't usually like to talk about other YouTube people, but for a moment, I just want to talk about someone who means something to me, even though I had a love-hate relationship with him. My good buddy, it all starts with a yes, a.k.a. Depressed Unwanted Man. What was I going to say about him? I have nothing bad to say, just that, I had texted him out of the blue, not really out of the blue, but just, I told this story in another video. I had asked, and you'll have to forgive me. I had to go, well, first, let me talk about me. I had to go back to the ENT today. Nothing major. It was a regular follow-up. And the ENT for my nose, when we had a septoplasty, ENT said, look, everything looks good. Your invisible stitches are pretty much gone. I'd say about 90% gone, but you're not fully healed yet. The one cool thing, because I said to her, I said, listen, I don't regret getting the surgery. I'm glad I got it, but it's not as phenomenal as I thought it would be. And she said, well, it really takes a good 3 months, sometimes 6 months. And I said, okay, even though that might sound daunting, it's actually a good thing. So I'm saying, okay, maybe I have something to hope for. I have some hopium that even though this isn't that great now, it'll be great. And, I'll look back one day and say, I'm so glad I did that. And she said, yeah, no, there's still a lot of backed up, your septum was previously deviated for all those years, plus you had those splints in, and it's still healing. So it's coming along nicely. The one thing that was interesting, she took this, some long metal instrument and she shoved it up my nostril. Here, take this, I'll show you. She took this metal instrument and she shoved it up my nostril. And here's what's interesting about it. When she put it in my nostril, it took up a lot of space in my nose. It was uncomfortable, but I was still able to breathe. I tested myself. I kept my mouth closed, and I was still, despite having this thing lodged in my nose, almost as wide as this fork, I was still able to breathe in both nostrils. And I told her, I said, you know what? If you had done that prior to the surgery, I wouldn't be able to breathe. You'd have my nostril completely, closed up and blocked, but I was still able to get air around it. So that's a good sign that I think the surgery in the long run will be worth it. But she said, yeah, you're healing. It looks good, but you're not out of the woods yet. So, okay, that's what I wanted to, okay. So now I also wanted to mention DUM real quick. I had texted DUM a few days back, blah, blah, blah. He answered my questions. It was nice. He did a farewell. It's weird. He didn't do a farewell video on his main channel, but he ended up doing a farewell video anyway. Maybe he should have just done a farewell video from the get-go on his main channel, because he put a farewell video on his, what do you call it? His, what's it called? Backup overflow channel. And it was an interesting video, but one thing I want to clarify. I had asked DUM to perhaps join me in a stream sometime. No commitments. And the reason I did that was, well, for two reasons. One, at the time, i.e. a few days ago, he had yet to upload that farewell video. So a lot of people were in a lurch, like, where is he? What happened? Is there something wrong? So a lot of people were in a lurch. So I wanted him, if he wasn't going to do a farewell video of his own, I was hoping he would do like a quasi farewell video or quasi farewell segment on my channel. That's not, that was one reason. The second reason was because some of you guys still love him and ask about him. And I told him, I said, it's the good ones. It's mostly people, we're curious what happened. So I thought, he could just, if he wasn't going to give us anything, he could show up on my channel and just, for no commitments, nothing major, 10, 15 minutes, and say hi, say I'm fine, that sort of thing. But I made it clear to him in these texts. I can read them to you verbatim, what I wrote. I said, listen, nothing's in stone, just a tentative plan. It's something cool to do. In his farewell video that he posted on his backup channel, I felt a little taken aback when he said, oh, I have to go on Occupational Clicks channel now because I said I would. I'm supposed to do that. There's no supposed to about it. You're not supposed to do anything you don't have, quote unquote, to do anything you don't want. And I made this very clear in my texts. If he had said, all right, it's a cool idea, but I'll have to think about it. All right, man, I'd rather not do that. Whatever, I wouldn't have cared either way. I said, sure. There was no commitment, but he said, yes, I'd like to come on. And again, even then, it wasn't, you must come on. There's no must, there's no supposed to, there's no have to. The texts were he said, sure, I'll come on. I said, okay, that's cool. No rush. In the near future, we'll figure something out. It was, it was nothing tentative. That's the one thing I wanted to say, because I was a little taken aback. I don't know. I like the guy, and I hope he eventually calms down and, comes back in some form, some fashion. If he needs a timeout now, that's cool. I just wanted to clarify all that because, in my last video where I was doing some autistic broiling, I think it was the second one where we were doing, pork cutlets. I basically told his story, and then he makes a video and tells the story again. He gave us a farewell video anyway. I didn't think he was going to do one. So it's like, well, if you'd done a farewell video from the get-go, I wouldn't even bothered, but whatever. But nothing is permanent. Nothing's in stone. But, it's like, I guess on my brother, what did you say? You called it a loose agreement?
Loose agreement.
Like let's for hypothetical. Let's say two people say to each other, if we're not married by the age of 40, we'll marry. Yeah. That's not a legally binding contract. That's just something nice you might say. And if the other party doesn't understand that, you might have a problem on your hands. But it's the same thing here. We had it nice. It was tentative. There was nothing. Then turn around and say, oh, I have to go on because I said I would. I'm supposed to. It's like, whoa. You remind me, dumb, of somebody else we know. So I just wanted to point that out. And I don't want to make this, one of these soap opera channels, but I do address that because, I don't know. It just seemed like, no, you're welcome to come on my channel. I'd still like it if you want to, but if you really don't want to, just say so. Don't be nice and say, I'll come on your channel if you really don't want to. I'd admire honesty over, oh, sure, I'll come on. I'm being nice. Oh, God, I got to go on this asshole's channel. That's kind of how it feels. Like, just be honest. Now, those should probably come off. These are actually looking better-ish. We move them to the cooler side. Let's test that one. These can maybe be flipped or stay on. Yeah, there's those two. The two we put on second or to the side. Yeah, but that's looking pretty good. Let's take a look. Let's take a... Now we remember 155, or so my brother says, is the magic number for everything. And interestingly, we're not quite there. We're stalling out. We're just making it... I like to play it safe. Like, I don't want it to be too dry. We want it to be juicy. But we need to make sure it's thoroughly cooked to the appropriate level that somebody decided upon at some point. Was it a scientist? Was it an old wife in one of her tales? We don't know. But okay, so we're going to keep it on the cool side. We're going to put that on. Yeah, and if that one's... Okay, I want to flip it, or which side is... Or do we put on the hot side some intense heat for... I don't know. Well, that side... Hold on, wait. This one here, that side's already pretty damn burned, so let's go like that. This one here, which side? Yeah, put the darker side up. It's got enough flame. These will move to the cooler side, and then we'll change course in a moment. Now, if I got to add some more lighter fluid, but I think it's burning okay. The briquettes, they're all gray. Yes. All right. So I wanted to share those thoughts. So you watch me take some pills. We're doing some grilling. I know this is getting boring, but you know what? Like I said, this is a unique year. Normally this time of the year, it's either cold, wet and dreary, or it's just blustery and chilly. You don't really want to go out and grill. I mean, you can grill in the snow if you wanted, but it's just not, it's not practical. So the reason I'm doing these grill videos, because if this were summer, I wouldn't be sharing this video. I'd just say, let's just go grill and then I'll make a video. If this were dead of winter, I probably wouldn't be grilling at all. It's just so rare to be grilling in late November. It's so rare to have a drought in November, but weather this, it's not warm, but it's mild. It was a milder day today. To have weather this mild and, this dry, it's just a weird, it's an Indian grilling season. Like an Indian summer, it's an Indian summer grilling season. Indian summer, for those who don't know, just means when it stays warmer later than expected. And while I wouldn't say it's warm, it's just the fact that the grilling season lasted longer. When a summer lasts longer, it stays warmer into October. That's Indian summer. I wouldn't call this a true Indian summer, but I'm making an analogy. I'm saying this is like an Indian grilling summer or whatever, grilling season. All right, so we took one off. What did it go up to?
167.
Now, technically, they're different when it comes to steak. There's different, there's medium rare, medium well done, etc. So there's different cooling points. What were you at? What would you get? Was it what? It looks like medium well to me, but 155 is what? Medium well? 165 is well done, or where does one well done come in?
160.
How is it?
I know.
You can taste the seasoning? Wait, it's going up to... It's only up to 140 behind. So according to this, I can't really read that. It's okay.
150.
Actually, anywhere from 135 to 145. See, 130 and above, you got to get to 130 to get to the medium rare, but I don't like it. It's way too pink. Medium is 135 to 145. So 145 to 155, okay, you're getting to the medium well. I like it well done, but not overly well done. Just right at the well done mark. So you got to what?
150.
But how is it? It is good?
I think it's good.
I'll try a piece.
Yep.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we'll take these off. That one steak was pretty good. I'm going to take these off in a moment. We'll test them. We got the pork chops. We also got, you got a bunch of meat, right?
Yes.
So our plan is to keep cooking until either the sun goes down or the briquettes burn out, whichever comes first. Let's get some cooking done. So, I'll eat sporadically. I'll sit down while things are cooking up. But we got some sausages, some other crap. We'll do some other meats. But let's see how these come out. Let's test this one. I'm going to bring it over. I'm going to test it. Where's your here? This one looked a little too charred. I left that side on a little too long. And how many videos of me grilling shit up can people watch before it gets? So I'm spearing it, but not too far in. What are we getting? Can you see that?
Is that 156?
We're going over 150. So this should be.
This is done.
Let's try that real quick. Yeah, I think it's good to go.
Yes.
All right. So my brother has cut up the second, and he's enjoying himself. I guess I can cover him. I'll leave these on for another few minutes, and then I'll do the pork chops. But getting back to DUM just for a minute here. Why don't you take the camera real quick? Getting back to DUM. Here's what I want to say. You can get me whatever. What was cool about it? A couple things. You know, he changed his name to It All Starts with the S. But in a way, he's back to where he started. He's on Depressed Unwanted Man backup, not It All Starts with the S backup. And the video, at the time I saw it, had maybe 40 some odd views, and it had 4 comments. It seemed like a real, proper YouTube video, not some, you know, over-bloated, I'm trying to get as many subscribers as I can. Let me do it yourself work, etc. And I don't blame anyone for wanting to branch out or try new things. That's not the criticism. It's almost like, it was almost like a throwback to what DUM used to be, why we, the loyalists, you know, came to him in the first place. And he was complaining about, well, no one wants to watch my do-it-yourself videos. I'm fixing a door, and there's only someone there for, like, you know, only 2 people there. They might have fallen asleep. It's like, yeah, DUM. The people who really want to enjoy watching you aren't coming to you to watch you fix a door. We're the people who knew you before you fixed the door. So I think he thinks a segment of us want him to go back to being crying and with his beard. And I'm not one of them. I'm happy that DUM is ascending, or whatever you want to call it. I'm very happy for him. I guess he conflates things. He thinks we want him to go back to being miserable and fat and depressed. No, we want you to not lose sight of, you know, who your core audience was in the first place. And your not It All Starts with the S, your Depressed Unwanted Man backup channel was more like the homey feel, the true, you know, this is a genuine channel feel that your other channel, you know, eventually, what am I trying to say? It ceased to be when you tried to get all the subscribers. And you were complaining about that in the video. No one wants to do this. I have these subscribers. These people come and then they leave. It's like, yeah, those people were never real. It's almost like, God, like some corny story, like, you know, the girl, the ugly duckling in high school, and all of a sudden she gets pretty, so she casts aside her 1 or 2 loser friends because she thinks she's the best, and then I don't know, something happens, she gets ugly again. She finds out that all the cheerleaders and the football players, they weren't really her friends after all, and you know, it's kind of like that. It's like it almost comes across. You know what I'm saying, buddy? Like you disagree? No, you can talk. You have an opinion too. You like DUM, right?
Yes. We like hearing from DUM. We like when he.
You can watch me flip too while you do this. You can talk.
Yeah, we don't want to see him repair stuff. That's really not for us. We just want to hear his take on life, how he's doing, what he's doing. We want to hear from the man himself.
When would DUM's chats pick up? When he was taking a break when he was done for the day. When he was going to sit down and actually read comments. That's when people wanted to interact with DUM.
Yes.
Not hear him read a poem and not watch him fix a door. Those are all admirable things if you want to do it once in a blue moon. But to try to make a channel, it's almost like, who was he trying to target? But I guess it worked because, I don't know, I guess he found some people, some decent people, expanding beyond the quote-unquote community. But I think he got too big for his britches. Is that what I'm trying to say? And this is not a criticism. It's more of an observation, like, you know. But anyway, it would be nice if he came on my stream at some point, but it's not obligational. And if he really doesn't want to, no one should force himself to do something they don't want to do. Now, let's go back to the steak for a minute. Because these were, okay, you think this is...
I think it might be.
Let's put it on the silver platter. And we gotta put the pork chops on. And then maybe do some sausage or some whatever else we got in there. And whatever else is... Go, do we see this? We're shooting up to, I don't think you can see that. 1... That can't be right. It's only 1:30?
No.
You want to try it? Maybe something, maybe to clean this off? I don't know. That can't be right.
You take this.
Yeah.
Give me this.
Maybe the tip has to be... Or we put it back on and cover it? I don't know. That's weird. All right, we put that one piece back on was pretty good. My brother's coming up. Here's the last one. Now it's looking pretty cooked-ish, maybe a little too burned. See, we put the lid back on over the open flame. And I want to say one of the reasons, why don't you test this one? Let me know how it's doing. But we're eating it up, we're devouring it. We can't get too full too soon. I'll put these on. If it's not good, I can throw it on with the pork chops. But I'll, Like what I was going to say was, okay.
This one's
Done. Pork chops, you got to leave on a little longer. You really don't want to fuck around with pork. Like steak, you can get away with different temperatures. It's just steak. Pork, they say what? It's what they say, pigs, swine, or what? God's garbage can, or whatever. They eat a bunch of junk and crap and all kinds. But I love pork, so. The reason I'm talking about DUM so much, I'm not trying to be one of these people who wants to be all drama. It's just, if you're watching this, if you know who Occupational Click is, if you know, if you've seen this channel or stumbled across this channel, you probably know me because of Depressed Unwanted Man. I think pretty much all of you here know who he is. I don't have to give an introduction. I'm not going to get people coming in and out saying, "Who's this dumb guy? Hey, Occupational Click, can you grow up some asparagus?" So if you're watching me, and see me and my brother here, you clearly know who Depressed Unwanted Man is. So that's why I want to focus on him, and I'm talking about him in and out, interdispersed with grilling. So we'll get this on. What do you want to do, buddy? I'll cover this up. See, I've got the 2 pork chops over the briquette side, the hot side, and I'm going to cover this up. And now this takes a little longer to cook, so I'm going to have a seat and we'll talk some more. And of course, I'm saying, who wants to watch DUM fix a door? Who the hell wants to watch Occupational Click and his brother grill? But I'm talking while grilling. Now, the pork chops, we had them covered. We've moved them off the briquettes over the cooler side. You tested it. Clearly, it's not done yet. Pork is different. It's got to cook. Those are pretty thick chops. So we've burned and crisped, that side and that side, but it's still so white in the middle. So we'll cover this up again on the cooler side. Leave a little air for breathing. Now, let's see here. I'm going to go back to my beer. Enough beer?
I think so, yes.
I can't believe we ate those steaks. We basically had 2 steaks apiece. It's so easy to eat while cooking, while multitasking, because it was delicious.
Yes, it was.
Good stuff. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to say about DUM, because, why am I talking all this gossip, all this? Well, because I know who he is. You guys all know who he is. You know me because you know him. And, I guess we all have thoughts and opinions, and I guess life goes on. It's not the end of the world, but I was going to say was, I'm not going to name names, but you remember one time early on when DUM started streaming, I thought he did a great service. It really was the Clubhouse. And I understand if that Clubhouse vibe is dying down. I think while DUM did a great job streaming, and he brought in some good people, I guess like I said, he tried to expand the Clubhouse. He put a bunch of additions on the Clubhouse. He brought in people who really didn't belong in the Clubhouse, and then maybe a few of them were okay, but he just he overexpanded, like he got too big, so to speak, and it collapsed, and he started complaining, like I just have a little hut, I want a big palace, metaphorically speaking. When he got the big palace, well, it's not the same anymore. This place is big and drafty. I liked it better when I'm in my little place. Yeah, in other words, the point is, you be careful what you wish for. But early on, he used to mod everybody. Remember, it was like participation trophy. Like everybody gets to be a mod. It was kind of ridiculous. And then at some point, I don't know what happened. Things were getting crazy, so he unmodded everybody. And then he decided, well, I need a few mods, so let me pick some loyal people. And this is my criticism. Maybe he doesn't know how to read people. DUM doesn't really strike me as a spurg. DUM, if anything, is more of a failed normie. A failed normie who maybe he does get a chance later in life. One of these, later life romances. Good for him. But I say failed normie because, he seems to have no problem socializing or, getting on with people in the jobs and whatnot, but despite his anxiety. But, I guess he thinks I'm some needy spurg, which I am to an extent, but not to that extent. I don't need DUM to, he thinks, he doesn't understand me. I don't want him to say, okay, I'm going to Occupational Click's channel. This is great. I expect him to say, sure, Click, I'll come to your channel. Or, nah, I'm not really in the mood. Or I got to think about it. Just be honest, be straight. But he's misjudged me as some overly needy spurg. And he misjudged some of his top trusted mods because it's amazing he's having so many problems with someone who once upon a time was one of his top picks, one of his darling golden boys. So maybe part of DUM's problem is he's really not that good at reading people, which is very odd for a spurg like me to be saying. But what do you think, buddy? He picks the wrong people. He gets the wrong impressions about people. Because I think, what do you think? And be honest, if you think I'm wrong, just say so. Just say, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, I guess.
What do you think about? We still got to wait for that. The pork's going to be cooking for a while. So go ahead. You guess what?
I guess he was maybe a poor judge of character. Like you said, there were some people he modded and he thought were great, but then they were not so nice to him. So why was he so nice to them in the beginning? I don't really know what to say or how to articulate this.
Yeah, it's like he's bitching about the wrong people. Oh, these people want me to be a depressed fat loser. Are you sure? Or maybe you got the wrong impression about some of us, just like you got the wrong impression about some of your darling, your one darling mod. You know who I'm talking about, who is now your arch enemy apparently. Well, maybe you just have terrible. If that's how you feel, it's amazing. It's not like, oh, this guy's okay now. I think he's crap. It's he's the best. I'm gonna make him a mod. Now I can't stand. It's like this bizarre extreme. Maybe DUM never really knew how to read people. Doesn't know how to pick who his friends and enemies are, and thinks true allies are what, like his enemies, or or want to see him fail. I got to share all this because while it's fresh in my mind, because another week or two I'll forget all about this. But I think it's important because there's very few people when they go away. Very few people I can think about that I would lament. But I would definitely put DUM on the lamentation list. And we know sometimes people go away, and you want them to come back. You dream of the day they come back, and they do come back, and it's like Pet Sematary. They come back, but they don't really come back. It's like they're not the same as what they once were, and I think you also know who I'm talking about there. But there are very few people I lament, but DUM would definitely be on the, oh man, he's leaving, that's a shame. I'll miss him. I'll miss the what he created, what the environment, the clubhouse, what he had. Just like I miss the philosophy of another guy who did come back, but it's like, it's not the same anymore. I guess everyone runs their course. The band either breaks up or it becomes an institution. You know what I mean? Like, bands have their heydays. They break up. Those that don't break up go on for decades is just, churning out crap album after crap album. So either way, whether they're still together or broken up, they're not the same. I guess everyone has their moment, and once it's past, it'll never be the same regardless. But, But let's get up and let's take a look at our grill work. In fact, let me get some